and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we are getting patriotic because it's almost July.
Next week.
It'll be July next week.
Next weekend is the July 4th weekend.
Oh, yeah. So, and it was just Flag Day. So,
yeah.
Enjoy the theme.
I started FFOing those two little cross stitches over there. They were stitching with the housewives cross stitches. I started, oh, the little pillow fell down.
Sorry. Let's get the pillow.
That's one of my designs, Patriot Dreams. It's on the Etsy shop. But I started FFOing that, and I have bigger things I want to put it on. I was like, I don't want to finish these right now.
They look good like that, though. Little postcards almost.
Well, the other part isn't going to be that much bigger than that because I want to put them on that
United States thing. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So,
very cool. I guess I'm going first. So the first thing I want to talk about is we have some bags. They're not yet listed because they need charms. This one has a charm.
That was the only charm I found that I liked for my bags.
So we got this bag.
Now, mind you, we have about 3 million charms, but
oh, the butterflies.
That's really nice.
I love it. I love those butterflies.
Didn't we make one of those pillowcases out of this? I think something similar.
Something similar.
Similar. Anyway, so there's one set with a nice. I love these pouches. I need one of these. There's that one, and then, oh, how cute! How summery.
That's really pretty.
It's gardening with purple accents.
I love it. I love those
so
flowers.
Cute. It's so nice.
Daisies and lavender.
That's for your gardening.
Gladiolus.
So you can do your stitching in your garden. This is such a nice bag.
Mm.
Such nice bags, Eve.
Thank you.
And then, oh,
that one's my favorite.
This is so cute. Look at this one.
Oh, little bees.
That fabric, I kept walking by it going, I don't need any more fabric. And
it's so Arizona.
It's so
this
cute.
is so Arizona with oranges.
Mm.
And they're orange blossoms.
Mm.
So cute.
How neat.
And this one, the fabric is a little bit thicker.
Yeah.
For those of you that are really rough with your bags.
Well, this is, so, all you Arizona residents or Florida, I guess it could be Florida. I guess they grow orange in Florida. Anyway.
These are our friends.
Huh?
The orange,
These are our friends.
The orange groves need bees. They hire bees to come.
So cute.
So we just need to put charms on them and they'll be
charms on, and then they're going to be on. So probably by the time you see this, they should have charms on.
Well, it depends on what I find at the store, but yeah.
So I have been obsessed queen this week. I have worked on one thing. Can you believe it?
No.
And one thing only.
She didn't have to do any bust.
Well, so yeah, that's part of my stories. But anyway, I'll tell you why I had so much knitting time this week. But here is Hannah's top. You remember I just started it? However, this is actually the second iteration, and I have a purposeful mistake to tell you about in this. So I started it last week. You saw just the little strip, and that was like on a...
Excuse me.
When did we record? Like a Saturday morning, I think. And
yeah,
I think it was the day before that. The day before that, I had been looking on Instagram and I saw an ad. I saw an ad for a brand new, I think I talked about it, a brand new set from Chaigu that they're making with African blackwood and metal tips. I talked about that last week. So because I had looked at that, then of course, you know, your algorithm, Chaigu, was coming up. And I saw this set. And it was not that fancy new set, but it was a regular set, and it went from size 2 needles all the way to size 15 needles. Interchangeable needles with those fancy red cords that I keep obsessively talking about. So I took a screenshot of that ad and I sent it to my husband, and I was literally just joking around with him because he's always looking to buy oboes, and then he got obsessed with tents, and he's always looking at tents, and you know, so I sent it to him and I said, you dream about oboes and tents and I dream about this. And so then that was, I think, was on Friday, and then on Saturday I came here to record. And then I picked my son up and in Phoenix, and we went home because we were getting ready for Father's Day. So while we were sitting around Saturday eating lunch, he goes, I was going to wait and tell you later, but I bought you an early birthday present. And he said, it's coming tomorrow. And he bought me that set. Oh, oh my gosh. It's got all these needles from very, very small. They're 5-inch needles, so they're big. They're the big ones. It's not like for making hats, but oh gosh, oh gosh, oh gosh,
Now
oh
she's
gosh.
spilling all her needles.
Yeah,
dumped it
and
upside down.
almost dumped the sodas.
Sorry. This is size 7. Okay, sorry. I didn't mean to dump them out, but it has really small needles all the way up to super fat ones. And now I gotta put them back. Let's see, this one is size 3. So it goes from size 2 all the way to 15. And I find something funny, that in no needle set I've ever seen is there a size 14 needle. I don't know what the millimeter on a size 14 needle would be, but there's never a size 14. But it also then, so that comes in this little folder. And I like the fabric on this too. And then it comes with 2 sets of those magic red cords I was telling you about, and I'll show you mine. But well, I'll show you this. It's so great because you know, the plastic cords that I'm used to have memory, and so see, when you're wrapped up like this, you take them out, they're still coiled. But these do not. Look, isn't that beautiful? They don't coil back on themselves, and they're just there. They just exist. And so, all this to say that night I had found a mistake in what I had done on this little sweater, and I took it out and I realized if those new needles are coming tomorrow, I'm just going to wait for that. And I decided to go ahead and start the whole project over, because one time I switched types of needles in the middle of a project, and you could see actually in Eli's sweater, even after I blocked it, I could see where I switched the needles. So I thought, you know what, I'll just start over and have a clean slate. And oh, and it also came with a needle gauge that shows you all the different sizes in case you lose them. Some cute little stitch markers that are all these colors. They're plastic colors. Yeah, they're very cute. And then these are the end stoppers and the little tightening keys and stuff. But so here you can see this is my my new needles. So I decided to start it, and I started it again then on Sunday, on Father's Day, I guess. And this is how far I have gotten. It's upside down. This is how far I've gotten. So this was very exciting. So that's the front. There's the back. I'm going to show you photos now of it on the Hannekin, as we call it. As I put it on there to send it to her. And I guess this pattern has 3 options in the body. You can do like waist shaping, where you kind of hourglass it in and back out, or you can do straight, or you can do an A-line. So she picked the straight, which is nice because I don't have to do anything, just knit. And it's got the garter stitch at the top, and then along the V-neck there, and then along the armholes, and then on the sides you do a garter stitch strip down the side of each one, and then in the what? Oh,
making a mess.
In the front here you do another garter stitch. You probably can't see it on there. I think you can see it better on the mannequin, but you do a garter stitch strip down the front, and then again at the bottom edge. So, but funny story. So after I started it, you do one side of the front first. You do this left front. So you make this little triangle. And I noticed while I was knitting this that I was 1 stitch over the stitch count I was supposed to be. And I thought I had accidentally made an extra increase somewhere. So that's what I assumed. But I also noticed that this garter band here that goes along the armhole right here was narrower than this one. But I didn't bother to like go back and check and see why. I just thought that was the design. So I was like, okay. So then you go and you pick up stitches on this side. So you do this and you put the stitches on hold here. And then you come over here and you attach the yarn and you make this triangle. And so I was making it and I was on stitch count stitch. I was like on. And then I held the two of them up and I realized that this V-neck garter stitch ridge was fatter than this one. And I realized what I had done was I was supposed to decrease 2 times up here at the very tippy top, and I only did it once. So I ripped this. I had only done a few rows, so I ripped it back out and did it with an intentional mistake. So I was like, the V-neck garter rib is wider as a design element because I wasn't going to redo the left side. So I just made it that way, and that made me have to do an extra decrease down here to get the right count and the round and then the right count on this front thing here. But it looks normal because you do 1 decrease, so I just did 1 the next time, and it looks fine. It's fine. We're all fine. So anyway, that's all I've been doing, and I'll tell you why in stories, but why I've gotten so far. But really, that is it. That's all I've been doing. Just knitting. On this one project. I haven't gotten out any of my other WIPs. And but I've been thinking about my other WIPs. I listened to a podcast. Is that
anything like when I think about doing quilting?
Yeah, but I was listening to a podcast about WIPs the other day, and I was like, I need a system. But that's for another day.
In the symphony, we used to call it practicing by the think method.
Yeah, the think system, like in Music Man. Well, so I'm trying to finish this and get it sent to Hannah. Probably, actually, she'll probably already be at her summer institute by the time I'm done. Maybe, I don't know, because she goes there on July 3rd. So we'll see. But anyway, so I was like, get this summer done. This was supposed to be for her graduation, so I'm trying to hurry up. But that's me. So you going next?
Am I going next or you going? Okay. Let me just put this.
She's always got to put a thread.
Well, that's good. Stitching like crazy.
Looks good.
Put this over here. So, I worked on my Monster Wonder Whale. Last time on Saturday, I was almost hitting my 10 days, and this is my 10 days on it.
So you're done with it for now?
For now, yeah. And I really wanted to keep going, but I had to put in 10 days on my other project. So yeah, it's coming along very nicely.
Nice.
Yeah, the last thing I was doing was working on this little tree thing here, and there's one huge one over here that I was really wanting to do, but I was trying to finish this one color. Like, well, there's one more like little quick type design here, but yeah, so yeah, I did. I think last weekend when I was talking about it, I hadn't done any of this here yet, but I was just starting to work with this color. But so yeah, well, that's Monster Wonder Whale by Owl Forced Embroidery.
Nice.
So that was my 10 days on that. And then, so I've hit that goal. And the other one I'm working on for WIP-GO is Kitty Kitty by La Di Da. And there's 2 cats. And it's on a black linen, but I am using dark green. This is by the Primitive Hair. It's 30 count linen.
You should have made one of those cats black and the other one white.
It's too complicated. I didn't want to think about it. So
she has a white kitty.
Yeah, these are. I decided these are Hotspur and Cyrano.
Oh, I see.
my kitties I had before the 2 I have now, and they didn't have white tails or whatever, but close enough.
It's not an exact representation.
Yeah, and actually, on the design, she has her initials and the year over here on the side, LM for Laurie Markovich, and she has the year, which is 2007, on there, but there's not an alphabet with this design, and so what I was thinking of doing is
Putting backwards H's?
yes, putting Hosper and Cyrano's like their initials or something, and then their dates. So just doing a back stitch here, so I can squeeze their initials and their dates in there. But anyway, so I finished all the leaves on the tree. The tree is done, and the cats are done except for their eyes. And then right now I'm working on these little, I don't know, whatever, they're bugs of some kind, butterflies or insects of some kind.
Cute.
Yeah, and I'm almost done. There's only 6 of them across here, and I'm on the 5th one, right, halfway through the 5th
You have
one.
like little green eyes?
Yeah. Yeah, they have like the way the eyes are done, they have like 2 squares here for each eye, but you put the eye in the center of the squares.
I see.
So on the pattern, it looks like 1/1, but it's not really. It's just centered in the space.
Oh,
there.
I see. That's
Yeah.
That's cool.
So so I haven't done the eyes yet. But then once I finish those little butterfly things, it's just the frame around the outside. So my 10 days will be up as of Monday, I think is the 10th day. So we'll see how far I can get with that. I may be able to get pretty far. I started doing the one border. The borders were done in this.
Is that your camp or your
No, this is
WIP-GO?
WIP-GO. So
Oh, I didn't know you had even started that before.
She finished her.
I
project.
did like 2 days on this one, and then
Yeah.
I set it aside and
Oh,
worked
I
on
see.
Monster Wonder Wheel. Well, I worked on the camp project.
No, I'm sorry. I
And
meant
then-
I didn't know you had started that
Yeah.
prior to this month.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I did the one
Last year.
I don't even remember
the
seeing it
tail of one of the cats
Oh, okay.
and the back, the little white parts
Oh, I see.
of one cat, and I think I did, and I worked on it at some point, and then I picked it up again.
I just don't remember ever seeing it.
Yeah, I picked
Before
it up.
this
I only worked on it one day for like Mania. I did the WIP Mania, and I worked on it one day, and I really had trouble because it's it's dark fabric. It's like stitching on black, and so when I first started it, I did okay, but then when I picked it up last year, it was like I lost my mojo. I couldn't.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
I couldn't see what I was
all
doing, and
of-
so I stitched very little on it.
like almost all of your things, I've seen them before, but that one I just don't
Yeah.
remember. It's funny.
And so, and it went really. Once I got going on it, it went really fast. For those 10 days, it's really not that much stitching, I guess. But anyway, so I'm working on those little bugs, and for my other cross stitch camp projects, so I finished the June one, and I've been working on kitting up. Well, I was kind of had not quite decided because I had a few different options of some things that I was considering for camp, because I want something that is small enough that I can finish it, within the year without killing myself.
Within the
because
year?
Within a month, because I've got the WIP-GO projects, So I wanted something small. So what I finally decided on, because I had been thinking about this, because the challenge for July is something that can be should be finished other than in a frame. So like a biscornu, an ornament, a strawberry, whatever. So this is, I think it's just Cross Stitch magazine. Let me see. Yeah. I guess the December 2020 issue of Just Cross Stitch magazine looks like this on the front. Has the cardinals.
Cute.
Really pretty cardinals. I like that design too.
Yeah.
But in here, so there's this one here, The snowman's treat. This little snowman drinking a cup of hot chocolate.
I'll never see it again after you finish it.
And then this one is Gnome for the Holidays.
You two will never see
Let me
it
see.
again after she finishes.
And they're cute and they're little and I was going through there and I thought, oh, they're all just this DMC, but no, there's not. There's a classic Colorworks color and some Weeks Dye Works. So I was looking through. So I was starting to kit it up because I had the fabric. I chose the fabric for it a while ago, and so I think I have everything for the. I haven't gotten the DMC out yet, but raspberry and snowball and molasses and holly. So raspberry and snowball are classic Colorworks, and the molasses and holly are Weeks Dye Works, and I happen to have all four of them. I might have bought them on purpose from when I might have put this on my list. But so I have all four of those. But I had wanted actually to start with the Snowman's Treat one, but the three colors that are Fancy Floss, the Toasted Marshmallow is a classic Colorworks, and the Weeks Dye Works Sky and Navy, I don't have those. So I had to go to the attic.
Oh, brother.
But all the others, the rest of it is DMC. There's several colors of DMC that I'm sure I probably have. So somewhere I just have to find them.
Before we go to the attic, I need to decide what I want to do about threads for
Yeah.
those autumn berries.
So anyway, that is me.
That's you.
That's me.
So, somewhere here, I have my WIP-GO board.
While you're looking for that, I'm going to
Zip it.
interject
No, it's
because
not here.
these needles, they're new to me,
Oh, yeah.
and they have what's called a lace tip, which is much more taper, and they're stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
And when I knit, I push the needle down, and now I have this spot where I feel like sometimes I'm getting stabbed by an actual needle if it hits in the right place. I'm like, ow!
Oh.
So you can see it's
There's
kind of
a-
dented.
There's a
Yeah.
product that cross stitchers use on their hand
It's a
to prevent
sticky pad thing.
poking your finger. Yeah, what's it called? Sells them Fat Quarter Shop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Send me the link because, so now I'm using the side of my finger, but every once in a while
Yeah,
I
it's-
just out of
it's-
habit. I'm
It's
"Oh."
like a little pad that sticks to your finger. It doesn't interfere with your stitching or anything.
Ooh,
It
that
just
sounds good.
it just keeps you from poking your
I
finger.
was just thinking, can I get a Band-Aid or something? It hurts. Sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't
Okay,
hear.
so this month's WIP-GO calls, or for me, number 9 was spring bookmarks, and I put 10 days.
You mean for June or July?
June.
Did I say
No, you didn't. I'm
No.
just asking.
June.
for June? And also 5 days for Wizard Snowman. Now, I've been working on the spring bookmarks, this one. Now, it seems like I would be able to finish that in 10 days, right? Yeah. No. This is as far as I've gotten, but it has been more than 10 days. So I am setting it aside because
Fair enough.
I have to do 5 days on Wizard Snowman. And
You're running out of days.
I know. I had a picture. Here it is. I'm starting Mary Ravenclaw.
Oh, is that your last one?
No, I haven't done Hufflepuff, but I like blue, so I'm starting on the blue one because I've done Slytherin and Gryffindor.
Oh, okay.
I want to do all 4, and I have. So this is a new start for me today, but I have the piece cut already for the other one. I'm not going to get to that in 5 days. I'm stitching these on. I think it's called silver What's it called? I just looked at the name of the fabric and I can't remember. It's got little silver threads through it. It's white, but it's got shiny silver threads through it.
Oh yeah, that's pretty. That's what you've done the others on, right?
Stitching white on this fabric is a nightmare. Now, all of these are supposed to be stitched on white, so I imagine it would be just as much a nightmare on any white. But this fabric, I really like the sparkle to it. I love it, but
I can imagine all that reflection plays games with your eyes.
No, the problem is that it's a very loose weave.
Oh.
And so sticking it in the wrong spot, like,
Happens
you know,
all
on
the
most
time.
Ada, you know, if you stick it in the middle, it won't go.
Go through.
It will on this one. So I barely started. I started in a middle start on the hat. And I wish I had a bigger picture. My bigger picture is the pattern. These are, both of these patterns are by Cross Stitching for Fun. And Cross Stitching for Fun has a Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, the Merry Snowman, which is what this pattern is called, is a free pattern.
Okay.
Yeah. So my liking, I don't know that I consider Harry Potter Christmassy, but
Those are cute.
But there's no.
they're cute, and you know there's winter in all the movies. Yeah, so they're cute and they were free, and I enjoyed working on the other ones, even though the white is
Driving you cray-cray?
driving me crazy. And then
Crazy.
I would have gotten a lot further on this, but wait, this is upside down. It's kind of the same on both sides, so it's hard to tell. There's another daffodil down here, and then after this white flower that I started right here, there's a little tiny bud of a daffodil. But this border repeats up here. And I have another pattern by these guys, Art Deco, spring, summer, winter, fall. It has borders like this. This looks fairly easy. It's one color. Man, do you have to count, because it's got all these little curly cues, and especially down in the corners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's pretty, though. It looks so nice.
and I like the way it's looking on this purple. I'll try to see if I can squeeze more time in on it to not put it aside to languish in my WIPs, but I've got a lot of WIPs, and who knows what they're going to call for WIP-GO for July. And then, of course, I have my July project. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of camp, were we speaking of camp? I'm working on this in
You've gotten far in that.
in the hands-on design summer basket, the triple play pillows. I plan to do all of them. Now that I know which white will work, it'll go much faster. I've got 2 colors completely
It
finished.
looks really nice.
I'm about half done with the reds. Little under half done, maybe.
It looks really pretty.
And then
I like it
and
on
then the
that
whites.
fabric.
I love it on this fabric. I really like the way the teals look with this spa green.
And that red really showed up.
It's
The red really
pretty.
pops off
it's
of it.
really pretty.
And what I don't plan to finish them as these pillows. I love her pillows. They're cute, and she did they're quilted
Yeah.
with hand quilting. She did a tutorial and everything. I don't have any place to put 3 pillows.
Those are pretty. Yeah.
But what I was
So
thinking,
what goes in the empty square? Are the squares just empty here? I can't really see.
yeah,
They're just open.
Some of them have
Okay.
little red dots in
Yeah,
it
they
like
look
that.
like quilt
but
patterns. That's
yeah.
so cute.
yeah, they're supposed to look. The other ones look
Is
more
that the
like
one
a
that
quilt.
the dog crunched? The
Yeah.
car? Yes.
Um,
Creases.
she started to do that to another pattern yesterday.
Naughty baby.
So what I'm thinking I'll do is put them with mat, because there's one of the reasons why she did it like that is she said, you know, she showed you how to make the pillows as a little pocket, and then she showed you how to make the insert that fits inside, so that you can just switch them out and store the pillows flat, because you use the inside on the other ones for the different seasons.
Oh, I see.
But what I thought I'd do is have a box, like say a tissue box or a little storage box or something along those lines with 4 sides, and do something on the one side, I don't know what, maybe one of my paintings or something, and then stick these with magnets and stuff on the other 3 sides,
That's good.
so that it takes up just this much space rather than, you know,
Yeah.
this much space. But these are pretty small. This width right here, this 14 count, this width right here, you know, is the same this way, so they're really pretty small. So
So you can fit all 3 of them on that piece of fabric?
yeah.
That's nice.
No. This is because I started so far in, because I wasn't sure what I was going to do.
Yeah.
I'll have to get another piece of fabric, but that's all right. And this is one of the new colors that Hobby Lobby has started getting
Oh, you
in.
didn't dye it yourself? Oh.
This color is from Hobby Lobby,
Oh,
Spa.
nice.
And it just, I think, makes it. I'm glad I didn't stitch it on brown. I bought a brown, but
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I really like it. And then my last project is my last summer berry. And I went ahead and went with the teal. And will you look how that's popping on that white?
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with that. So,
I was watching somebody's Flosstube and they had the winter berries on there. Look.
I saw a picture of them. I'm like, oh gosh, those are cute. So that is all of my stuff.
Nice.
But that all those, I don't anticipate my level of cross stitch other projects going on, because I'll still have my berries and I'll have cross stitch camp.
Excuse me. What is that color? You can't see this. What is that color of thread on your sewing machine?
It's sulky teal.
It's pretty.
Um,
What were you using it for?
see the little handles right there for that bag?
Oh, you're using it on a bag?
I would take it off, but I don't feel like rethreading my sewing machine.
Rethreader. It's just this really bright teal. It caught my eye. I was like, what is that?
I was
Don't sneeze.
Yeah, I started. Remember that I said that I was working on a big bag, and it's like 24,
Oh, nice.
and it has a metallic. It has little metallic highlights in the fabric. Can you grab one of those pieces of the dark?
It sticks to everything.
Careful, careful. Too many sodas.
Okay.
Okay. So you can't see it here, but I used it to stitch in here, and look, it just goes perfectly.
Oh, nice.
But this fabric, maybe it'll show up in a picture, probably not, has little highlights of metallic. You see?
Oh, uh-huh. So that's why you went with the
Yeah, and
metallic
this
kind of
is
thread.
Saguaro. So this is supposed to look like the Saguaro Flowers,
Uh-huh.
and so is this a version of the Saguaro Flowers.
Oh, that's pretty.
I love the Saguaro Flowers.
That's neat.
I love this color.
Yeah.
And this bag is really big. When I started cutting it out, I went, holy cow. This is a pattern, Misty Dome showed it not on her new show, but on the one she was doing before, live or something like that. And it uses fancy zips. So I bought, the day I saw the pattern, I thought, you know what? I can make that and then decide how to make some that are my own, not quite this big.
Mm-hmm.
This is a very big bag. But I was saying on my Flosstube that I want to have a couple of big bags, like the one you gave me from Boston,
Mm-hmm.
that I can put a number of littler bags in. Mine, these bags here, they will fit a few of those, like 8.5 by 11 type bags. Not too many, but they will fit more than one. As long as they're not, they're big, but they're not gigantic like this. Because I want to keep, like, all the stuff that I'm doing for my berry SAL, like all together, all the different stuff, like the wools and all that, but I don't necessarily want to keep it all in the same bag as the stitching, because that bag is getting like that, but I want to keep it
in and out.
Yeah, I want to keep it
Yeah.
together so that it's easy to find when I want to finish things, or
Yeah.
and all of that. Or like for the Stitch All the Things berry that I'm going to do for Cross Stitch Camp in June. July. I want to pull the threads and the finishing stuff that I want to use and all that, and keep them all together, but not in the same project bag because it would drive me bananas. So I decided to start making this. This, by the way, is iron-on Bosal. It's a foam.
Oh, nice.
And it's really nice to sew through.
I need some of that. I want to make a couple. I need to make several sewing machine covers.
Well,
That's
that gnome bag I made you
Mhm.
has this Bosal in it, and it's really nice to sew through.
That's nice.
You would think because it's so thick
that it wouldn't.
and stiff that it wouldn't, and it sticks on easier than interfacing.
Easier than Quilt Smart.
The name that shall be not be named.
The name, the cursed name.
It's just evil. Here. Need to move this big thing. I was gonna quilt on that today, and I was like, no, I better start looking for charms and stuff. So, speaking of charms,
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that.
it's a scissor fob available on our Etsy shop, and we'll take a picture.
Yeah.
You can't really see it.
United
It's a
States
United
on it.
States with red, white, and blue beads, but there's only one there, but I have the charms to make more.
To make some more.
Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
I
Anyway,
just realized
huh?
I realized I'm like practically off camera this whole time.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I don't need to be on camera.
So,
So crazy
that's me.
thing happened to me this week on Tuesday. So I've been since we started our heavy duty subscription renewal season. I've been working full days, like 3 days a week. And so when I work full day, and because the gas is horrible, I've been riding the bus. So the bus, it's an express bus. It's like the stop is right there, and or right there. Anyway,
it's a mile away.
so I catch that in the morning, and I start work at 8:45, and I work till 5, and then I walk and catch the bus home, and it brings me right here, and then I go home. So it's real nice. And on Tuesday morning, I've done that and planning to stay all day, and then at noon, I see one of our execs come and grab my manager and says, "Can I talk to you?" And they go in an office and they're talking in private, and I thought, and I always do this. When something like that happens, I think, is it about me?
Yeah.
Did I do something wrong? And I'm thinking back, like, no, I've been on time every day. I haven't done anything wrong. it's got to be about me. I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. And so now she comes out and says that I guess there had been several people at the office who had come down with COVID. So they had decided to let everybody go home and work from home for the rest of the week. And I was like, that's great. How do I get home? Because the return bus doesn't come until 3:30 is I think the earliest bus you can catch. And I'm like, it was noon. And I'm like, So I'm like, I guess I'll just Uber home.
Mind you that if she had taken one of the regular buses, it would have taken her to an entirely different
Well, yeah, I couldn't
area.
get there. The regular bus doesn't go there. And it would have been... And so we got to go home on the clock, so I didn't want to waste too much time. So I just Ubered to the park and ride. And my husband's watching, because we have a family Uber account, so he's watching me Uber home, and he texts me, he's like, where are you going? I'm like, to my car. Because he forgot that I parked at the park and ride. He's like, oh, that's right. And then I had to take a phone home, because I hadn't worked from home. Everybody else was already set up because they were all working from home in the pandemic. So I had to take a phone home, and I had to get it all situated. And it took me like 2 hours to get up and running. But then today I was able to work from home. So I've been home, like, and you know,
The phone
my
doesn't
boss
ring.
doesn't watch this, so the phone's not ringing, and there's no executives walking by. I'm gonna knit. I mean, what am I gonna do? So I got a lot of knitting done, and then Wednesday and Thursday I was off, and it just so happened that there were no appointments, and there's nowhere I had to be, and I'm like, I'm like, why does it feel so weird? I've had days off like all the time, but I realized the last few weeks, if I had a day off, I was going out of town somewhere.
Well, or taking Dad to an appointment.
Yeah, or something. And so I'm like, this is the first time I've just been home with nothing to do. I should do the dishes and do the laundry.
No.
Yeah, no. I had.
But that's why my finger hurts.
So when I was working Uber, I used to start at 4:30 in the morning, 4:45, depending on when I got out. And one of my first calls, I remember it was dark. I got called to some industrial area, and the guy was loading my car with all this computers and all this other stuff because he was set to work at home.
Oh.
It was right at the beginning of the pandemic.
Oh my God.
Yeah, tons of stuff. So you Ubering with your...
Yeah, because I had to Uber with this grocery bag full of phones and stuff.
I had, and one of my Facebook memory things came up, and I had posted about how I guess I think my Saturday morning student had canceled, and I didn't have rehearsal or anything, so I was like, oh, I have all this time, I don't have to go anywhere, I don't have to be anywhere. I
don't know what to do with myself.
I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what to do with myself. Yeah, so I was like a little bit wandering around, like I really should get a lot of housework done. But my husband just bought me these brand new needles. It's all his fault. And then today I was actually glad I had to work from home because I did not feel good. My stomach was so sick. And I had no Pepsi in the house. And so I'm messaging, I'm like, I'm stuck on the phones with no Pepsi and I feel gross. And Eve's like, I'm rescuing you. She brought me a Coke.
However,
which was actually a Diet Coke.
I'm very jealous of your Diet Pepsi because...
Okay, so I went, so on my way here, I'm the Diet Coke girl, and I thought I'm going to go to my McDonald's because your McDonald's sucks, and I'm going to go to mine by my house. And I get here, and all 3 Cokes were regular instead of Diet.
None are supposed to be regular.
They were all supposed to be Diet Cokes, and they were all regular, and I was like, I can't drink this. So I went and got a Pepsi and put it in here.
She literally cannot drink it.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm sorry.
All of us.
But it was a more pleasant experience, I will tell you that. Getting the wrong Cokes was still more pleasant than going to your McDonald's.
I drive further.
Yeah.
Different direction usually.
To avoid that
yeah.
I
went to yours this morning when I rescued you.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was always so busy.
It was very fast.
Near your
but
house.
the guy that was at the window when I pulled up, he was like, and he He was so mad. He goes, sorry, that guy in front of you just made me very angry. And he didn't say anything for a while, and you know, he was taking an order, and then he took my money, and then he tried to tell me what was going on, but he was like speaking so softly it was very difficult for me to hear, but I got the impression it was a racial slur.
Oh no.
And you know, when he first said that the guy in front of him had made him mad, I said, I'm so sorry. And then afterward, I'm like, I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Wow.
I don't know what happened to him, but I'm still sorry. And he was in the process of handing me back my card, and he wasn't spending a long time talking to me. He was doing it while he was exchanging the money, you know. Mm-hmm. And when he didn't take the money right away because he was taking an order, you know. Mm-hmm. So he returned to the mic to talk to someone. He goes, ma'am, I told you I would be with you as soon as I finished helping this customer. So I guess the lady was yelling at him.
Oh, no.
Had a bad day. Well, one time goodness. I went, there was a Wendy's, you know, I lived downtown, and when I lived in Little Rock, and there was a Wendy's that was close to my house, and I would often go there like after rehearsal or something and get a soda. And so one time I was there, you know, it was late at night or whatever, it was after 10, and I just wanted a soda, a Diet Coke, and the person in front of me was taking forever. They took a long time at the little microphone ordering stuff, and then, you know, so I was right behind them at the window, and they were there forever. And the girl at the window was, you could tell she was trying to be nice, but she was, you know, like trying to get rid of them, and they just took forever. You know, she gave them their stuff right away, but they were just there forever. And then they finally pulled away. And when I pulled up, she was talking about how they were drunk, I guess, and you know,
driving.
And giving her a hard time and all this stuff. And
what's the matter, little dog?
And so because I had to wait for such a long time, she gave me my soda for free.
Oh, that's nice.
It's like,
So two other things I forgot to tell you. It was the last time I drove in. Oh, one morning I had to drive in just to cover a couple of hours because one of my colleagues had an appointment and my boss had to be off site, so there wasn't anybody else, and so I was like, I can cover. So it was last Thursday. So I went in and I was just there for a couple hours, so I drove myself in, right? So I'm leaving, and to go home from downtown, the way I go, I drive down Jefferson, which is a one-way eastbound. And if you go up to Washington, that's one way westbound, right? So I'm on Jefferson going eastbound, and I'm driving along, and there's an empty lane here. I'm in this lane, and then there's car to the right. There's like all these cars, like behind me, in front of me. And I'm driving down the street, and I look, and I'm like, something's wrong with this picture. There's a car in front of me, but it's coming at me.
Oh no.
Going the wrong way and a one way. And I'm like, hello? It's broad daylight, right? It's like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I'm like, beep, 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 beep. I'm slamming on my brakes, I'm honking, and he doesn't move. Now, I'm thinking, I cannot move to the right because there's lots of cars. I don't want to move to the left because if he figures out what the heck's wrong, he's going to move to his right, to get out. So I don't want to do that.
So was he just sitting there?
No, he was driving at me.
I mean, he was coming at you?
Yeah, he was coming at me. So I'm like, I don't want to move this way because if he's going to move suddenly, he's going to move that way, right? We're going to do that dance where we both go the same way. So I'm like, you better move. And I'm honking and I'm slowing down. And finally he gets over, but he passes me and then turns on the next road or whatever. And I'm just like, but you know, that happened to me the last time I worked at the Symphony 7 years ago. At night, I was driving, and I think it was New Year's Eve. But I don't think they were drunk, but who knows. But it was like one of those same exact thing. And I think those little side roads don't do a good job of like announcing the fact that you were approaching a one-way.
Yeah.
Because that's happened right there in the same area on Jefferson to me before.
There's
and I'm like,
I know in Albuquerque, with the one-ways there were people that would repeatedly go the wrong way because it was easier than going to the one that was the correct way and coming back.
Yeah.
And, it's ridiculous. It's,
so dangerous. And then, so Tuesday, the day I got sent home, that morning on the bus, I'm driving on the bus. Oh, first of all, on Monday morning, I'm driving in the bus, and I'm riding the bus. I'm not driving the bus. I'm riding the bus, and I hear these two women across from me talking. And I'm eavesdropping, of course, because what else are you going to do? And I hear, they know each other just because they ride the bus, but they were like, well, what's your name? We talk all the time. I don't know your name. So I knew they didn't know each other super close. But one of them says, yeah, my office is moving in October. We're moving over to Cityscape. And I'm like, and then she was talking about a restaurant that had gone out of business. And so I knew what she was talking about, the same company, the same building where my son works. And I knew that his building is moving, that his company's moving. I didn't know where until she said, we're moving to Cityscape, which is like diagonal from my office, which will be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But, so I said, do you work at such and such? And she's like, yeah, that's where that's where my son works. And so she took his name. She's like, I'll look him up. And she said she sent him an email, and I forgot to ask him if he got some random email from some random woman. But anyway, but then, so then Tuesday morning, I'm riding the bus. And when I get on the bus, that woman's there. She's like, I sent an email to your son. I was like, oh, okay. So we're driving, and I'm knitting, and all of a sudden, we're in the HOV lane, the high occupancy vehicle lane, where you only like buses and people who are carpooling can ride, right? So we're booking it along, and all of a sudden, screech! He slams on his brakes, and we all are like, in the bus, and he stops. And I see that, I thought it was like a long line of traffic, but I see in front of me 2 cars, and one has hit the other. And so it was an accident. And then I'm looking, and I'm like, what the heck? Because these 2 women were out of their cars, up against the concrete barrier in the middle, fighting with each other, pulling hair. Like, they both had super long hair, and they're like doing that hair pull thing, like just like totally like. I stood up in the bus, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I told somebody, like, well, at least they give you something to talk about at the office. Right? But no, so they're fighting, and then all of a sudden they were done. And they go back to their cars. And then they keep arguing, and then the bus driver's calling, because he's like, I'm stuck here, and they were out fighting. Because then they got out, like, they kind of went to their cars, and then they got back out, and then they were arguing, and the one in the back comes to the bus driver, says something to him. And then she goes back to her car, and then the one in front, I'm watching, she opens her back door, and I thought, oh, she's going to get a gun, she's going to do something, and I'm going to witness it. She opens the back door, and she pulls her child out. Now we are on the freeway in Phoenix.
There was a woman just killed.
I know. So we're in this HOV lane, and here's the traffic. And she takes her kid out, and she puts her in front of her, and like, see. So, and then another little kid comes out because that one.
Oh my God!
So and I'm like, put your kids in the car, and so they're both standing there, and then.
So they were in the traffic lane in the
HOV lane,
and she
which
gets them out.
There's no way to get out of the traffic.
Yeah, so she gets out, of course, on the
shoulder.
towards the shoulder, the barrier side. She's thinking that those kids are protected, but I'm like, if someone comes around that bus, stupid the way people are, and hits your car, your children might be in the car strapped in, but certainly if they're standing beside the car, like, what is wrong with you? And you don't know what kids are going to do. So she left the older kid standing there. Now, these kids are like maybe 6, 7, maybe 8.
Child endangerment.
She leaves that kid standing there and walks back to the bus driver to say, she's mad at me because I got in front of her, but she doesn't have anybody in her car. She doesn't even belong in this lane. And, which is probably true. But I'm like, because she took the kid out to prove to her that she had someone in the car and she's allowed to be in that lane, because the one that hit her was saying that she shouldn't be in that lane, and she's like, you're the one who shouldn't be in the lane. Anyway.
Still, you don't take your
They
kids
were,
out of the
and
car
then they
on
were
the
fighting
freeway.
more and screaming at each other and this and that. And the bus
my
driver's
God.
like, you need to send somebody. And then we just went around, and I'm like, I hope those people don't get killed. I could not believe it though. I'm like, I cannot believe you all pulling hair like you're a sophomore in high school.
So a while back, I was going into the grocery store, and there was no parking anywhere close. So I had to park a ways, and as I was walking in, two women who had parked relatively close to the doors, but like one aisle apart, were walking in, and they started yelling at each other because apparently one of them took the parking space of the other one. I'm like, what is this, fried green tomatoes? Right? So then they're yelling at each other, and then right there in the doorway of the fries, they come to blows.
Oh no.
Over a parking space. You know, get over it. People are stupid. They take your space. It's not worth fighting over. Just park somewhere else. Because this parking lot is huge. So you have to walk a couple more spaces. So what? You know, but they're there fighting, and then they stopped. And they both walked in. You know, fixing their hair and shirt and everything. And then you would see them giving daggers to each other in the store. I was like, if I didn't need to be in here, I would be so gone. Women are crazy.
I witnessed 2 fights that I recall in my life, and one was
Only 2? Oh, you're not counting the ones between you and Eve?
Yeah,
no. Oh, okay.
One
That
was
witness, not participate.
Oh, witness.
One was when I was in college, and I was driving to college from our house in Paradise Hills, and
Hey, come here.
and there was a car that, as I was going down Paradise Boulevard out of our neighborhood, there was a little car that was zipping around everybody. And this is just a 2-lane road out of the neighborhood, and he's zipping in and out of traffic and going around people and everything, driving faster than the speed limit, because I always drove a little bit faster than I should have, and this guy was going faster than me. But so we get down to Coors Boulevard, which is like 2 lanes each direction and very heavily trafficked in those days.
There's 3 lanes each.
Anyway, but so at one point we came to a light, and it was and he had been again going around traffic and cutting people off and stuff like that. All you could see him all through this area, and so we got up to this light, and he was at the front of the light, and I was about 3 cars back. And there was a guy in a big truck, like a delivery van kind of truck, and so we were stopped at this intersection, and he got out of his truck and he went up to the front of the line, and he just kicked the guy's door, and then turned around to go get back in his truck, and the guy in the little car got up, and he's all with his chest puffed out, and he's all mad. And so the guy from the truck turned around and came back, and so they started, beating each other up and fighting. And the guy from the truck grabbed the car driver's shoes. He grabbed his shoes and threw them at him. One of them went under the car.
Did he shove him into the car?
Yeah, he did. He shoved him back, and so the guy, sat back sideways in his car and tried to kick the guy, and that's why he grabbed his shoes and threw them at him, and and just then the light changed. So the truck driver guy went back and got in his truck, and we all went, so we were watching the show, but we all went, and the guy in the little car was there trying to get under his car and get his shoes. So that was the one fight. And the other one was, were you with me? I think you were with, yeah. You and John and my friend Janet and I. At the crest.
At the crest?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was bad.
Yeah, so we had gone up to the crest. My friend Janet was visiting.
So the crest is in Albuquerque. There's
Yes.
a mountain beside the city, and you can take a tram all the way up to the top.
Yeah. There's a
Sandia
ski
Crest.
area up there,
Yeah.
and then if you walk a little ways, there's a restaurant up there, the High Finance. So we had gone up to watch because you can watch the sunset over the city, and it's really pretty, and the lights come up, and then blah blah blah. So we had gone up there. And we were up there for a little while, and then we were going back down, and it was getting kind of dark, and it was kind of slippery. It was very foggy and everything. So we went back to the tram house. We were waiting, and the tram comes up, and while we were waiting for the tram to come up there were 2 guys and a girl, and they were there arguing, making ugly jokes and stuff like that.
They were drunk, weren't
yeah, yeah, and just kind of acting up, and they were youngish, but just being ugly. And so finally the tram car comes up there, and so by this time some people had come from the restaurant, and so we're all getting in the tram car, and there's these little tram attendant guys, and there's like a little kind of perfunctory gate, but there over the little platform, so that they can so they can just see how many people are getting on the tram car or whatever.
Basically, you're getting on over air.
Yeah. So we were getting in the tram car. Yeah, there's, like I said, always called it the jagged rocks below. So we're getting in the tram car, and these guys shut the gate on the drunk guys, and wouldn't let them get in the tram car because they were waiting actually for the police, because the people at the restaurant had called down and said, hey, these guys, they apparently they had walked through the kitchen because the waitress carded them, and they didn't have any ID, or they wouldn't show her ID, and so she wouldn't serve them any booze.
Oh.
And so they got mad, and they had walked through the kitchen apparently and just caused a ruckus, but they left. And so they at the restaurant had called down and said they'd caused a disturbance, blah blah blah. So the police were coming, but they weren't there yet.
There's no way to come quickly.
They
had to come up like this.
Yeah, so they were going to come up. Yeah, but so they were waiting, I guess, for the police, whatever. So anyway, so we were waiting to get on, and so
we were on.
Yeah, we were on it, and we were getting in the car, and those guys, they wouldn't let them in, and so they started like cussing and everything. So one of the tram operators guys said, oh, these nice people don't have to listen to that. So he shut the door and locked it. He has like a little T-pin, and he locked the door. So we're all inside the tram car, and these 3 guys are out. I mean, 2 guys and I guess the girl was out there with them still. I don't know. Maybe they let her in, and the 2 guys are out there. I don't know.
I don't remember.
But so then at one point they got mad, and they jumped the little gate, and they started fighting with the tram guys. And these men that were in the tram car with us were like, how do we get out? How do we help them? And so finally somebody in the tram car popped the little emergency hatch on the roof of the tram car, and I was like, they're gonna fall to their death because it's slippery and wet, and but they jumped over the top of the tram car down onto the platform, because one of the drunk guys was like, he was attacking one of the tram guys, and the tram guy is hitting him with a T-pin, like whacking him, and he didn't even feel it apparently, because he was just, he's bleeding and all this.
Wow.
But so there was a big bloody to-do out there, and so finally, like I said, these men had jumped out of the tram car onto the platform, and to help the guys, and the 2 drunk guys ran off into the darkness, and I thought, where are they going to go? Because you get out of
they ran into the woods in the mountain.
you get out of that area, and it's pitch black.
There's
out
nothing there, and you can't. There's no way there, because unless you walk to the mile to the where you can drive down.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go.
Yeah, there's nowhere. There's like the ski area.
Walk down the ski slope.
Yeah, and it's So they ran off into the darkness, and I thought, they ain't gonna go anywhere.
Look.
So these guys that were, I think one of the tram operator guys stayed up there, and the other guy was like all beat up, bruised, and bloodied, and there was a girl that she also worked for either for the tram company or the restaurant. And she's the one who told the story of what had happened with the restaurant. But we finally went down, and as we were coming down toward the tram house at the bottom, you could see the police coming up the road to the tram house.
Jeez.
But yeah, it was very, it's very unnerving, because it's like, you see it all the time in the movies and on TV, but when you see it in real life, it's like, oh,
it's never,
it's very scary.
Worse. Yeah. My gosh. Well, we better go, I think. We've been talking a while.
Mhm.
Jabber, jabber. Jabber, jabber, walkie.
So, you guys are heading into 4th of July weekend. I hope you guys stay safe.
Yeah.
It's a very
I heard that
dangerous weekend.
Phoenix canceled their fireworks.
So
the city
dry.
of Phoenix.
Mhm.
I think because
So
of
dry.
supply, though.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
we got rain. That's the big story of the week.
Oh yeah.
Actual drops.
Actual, like, rain.
Yeah.
Rain. Like, pouring rain.
I missed
Of course,
it.
but here's the thing. I was home, of course, Thursday, and that's when it happened. And you got storm warnings and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and Mark's at work. So, I don't know. I've told you in the past, we call him the Jonah. Because, okay, you have to go watch Master and Commander so you understand what I'm talking about. But, because we watched the radar, and here comes the storm. And then it goes like this, whoop, around our house. And we're like, it's you, Mark. You're the Jonah. And so we always tell him that. Well, then he's at work, right? And he said it was raining a little bit where he works. And I'm like, well, it's pouring down here.
Yeah,
so
finally
so
poured.
he's like, okay, I'm coming home. I'm like, okay, be careful. And as he's coming home, the storm goes away. Like, it's your fault it stopped raining. 'Cause you're the Jonah.
I was like, well, I was going to barbecue. I guess I'm not going to barbecue now because it was pouring.
And then
And then the sun came out and it was dry. The concrete was dry. I was like,
But we were very grateful for the rain. It was so nice.
You know, I saw
Very
the,
dry.
the storm warnings, you know, when Rachel had posted, you know, oh yeah, there's the storm warning, and so my phone went off, you know, and I thought, oh good, because the sky looked, you know, kind of murky, kind of yucky, and the wind had been blowing, and so I thought, okay, there's a storm coming, and then I guess I fell asleep, and I must have slept through it, because then I asked Eve, did it ever actually rain? Because we've been getting little spitty rains, you know.
Yeah.
there was a dust storm warning even.
Yeah.
And
You guys very windy.
yeah, so I was like, did it ever rain? And she goes, yeah. I was like, man,
It was so
missed it.
funny because only in Arizona, right? So I went outside on the back porch to look at the rain because it was raining. Because that's what you do in Arizona. You go look at the rain. And
When I lived in Belgium, they went outside to look at the sun.
Yeah. So I went outside to look at the rain, and next door, the kids are like screaming and running around and playing in the rain. I was like, those poor children.
I remember playing in the rain.
Yeah,
I
we should
know.
do that. Yeah.
I know, but like, it's such a rare happening. It's like, look, children, rain. Go experience rain.
This is what we call rain.
This is what's called rain. So that was very nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I heard that. Oh, and so Mark sent me a thing that the Apache Sitgraves forest, not exactly where we went camping, but nearby, just lifted its fire restrictions.
Mm.
Oh, and I forgot. Last story. The reason I wore this shirt, which is my Arizona Fly Shop shirt, is because this week, the guide that we used in last October to go on the fishing trip, that we hired to go again on my birthday in July, gave me a heart attack. So he texted me a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I just want to let you know our prices have gone up because of gas. I'm like, okay. And he says, and also Lake Powell is very low. So Lake Powell is up north of Arizona, and it's dammed up, and below the dam is the Colorado River that goes through Glen Canyon, and then it goes down into the Grand Canyon. And the water level in Lake Powell affects the water level in the Colorado River. And he operates his fishing trips in Glen Canyon. And so he said, Lake Powell's low, and the water temperatures in Glen Canyon are rising. He goes, if it gets to 64 degrees, I have to cancel all the fishing trips because it puts the fish in danger for lack of oxygen, and you can't hook them at that temperature. He goes, right now we're at 54, so, you know, but I'm just letting you know. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to pray for rain. And I just said, okay, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to pray for rain, right? And this was a couple weeks ago. And then I'm sitting at work, and and I'm on the phone, and I see my phone light up, and it says his name. And I was like, oh, crap. He's calling to cancel. So I get off the phone, and I listen to his voicemail, and he says, hey, I just, I didn't hear back from you, and I just wanted to, know if you really want that date because somebody else wants your date, and I need to find out right away. And I was like, no, because, like, I have the lodge booked, Mark has the days off, Eli has the days off, I have the days off. I'm like, no. What do you mean you didn't hear back from me? So I called him, and he goes, oh, sorry, I saw your text. I'm like, because I said, I thought we were confirmed when I sent you that text back. And he's like, oh, yeah, sorry. And then the other night, so he gave me a heart attack, but I guess we're cool. But then the other night, I was thinking back to listening to his voicemail. And he's way up north where there's barely any phones service, so everything he says is always kind of crackly. Mm-hmm. And then the voicemail is kind of crackly, and he says, I just want to know if we are confirmed for the 15th. The 15th. And I was like, did he say 15th or 16th? It's supposed to be the 15th. It could have been either, but it's supposed to be the 15th. And when I called him back, I said, well, I thought we were confirmed. He said, okay. And I didn't say for the 15th. Mm-hmm. So I just texted him today. I'm like, I'm having a panic attack. It's supposed to be the 15th. Please tell. And he didn't write me back yet. But I was like, I was like, please don't cancel. I mean, if you cancel because of temperature, I get it. But I was like, please don't think I didn't respond, because I responded right away. So he gave me a hard time. I'm so excited. Mark's like, I hope I'm not bored. I'm like, you're not going to be bored. How can you be bored? You're not going to be bored. It's really beautiful up there. Like, and if you're bored, then pick up a fishing rod. But anyway, so, and Eli ordered something called the Rex Fly. It's an adaptable fishing vest where you can put so you can fish with one arm. Yeah, so it's good. It's cool. He just got that at the house. And so we're going to learn how to use that. So that's coming. And I realized July is almost here. I'm so excited. So,
I'm on Monday gonna take Snug to the vet. Yeah, I saw him last night. He was lying on my bed and he was kind of young, and you can really see the swelling on his lip.
Oh.
So I'm hoping he doesn't have a mass or something in there, or if it's something, that. What I'm afraid of is that he's gonna have to wear a cone or something, so that he doesn't scratch it.
Maybe he'll lose some weight.
I doubt it.
Yeah. Well, you guys, thanks for spending the week. I mean,
it felt like a week. It was
Thanks for spending some time with us this week, is what I was trying to say. And we will see you again next week. And we hope you have a good week.
Bye.
And let us know what you're working on. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.